Hey guys, what's up? So, a little bit of backstory. This is my SK64XS. It's been on my main keyboard since I think almost 1 year. I really love this keyboard. It has everything that I want. 64 key layout, small, compact, with a metal aluminium case. However, it has one fatal flaw, and that is the wireless connectivity is only via Bluetooth. So I was looking around for a replacement for my keyboard that would be metal case, 64 key layout with a 2.4 GHz wireless connectivity, and I think I found it. This is the Ajazz AC064, and I especially do feel that this is a perfect compact keyboard, especially when you consider the price of only around 300 ringgit Malaysia or 85 US dollar, which is not very expensive for a keyboard that it has a metal case, hot swappable socket and things like that. It is also readily available at AliExpress, Shopee or Lazada, so I think that finding it would be too difficult. Like I said before, there are a few reasons why you would want to consider this keyboard. But the three main reasons are, this is a tri-mode wireless keyboard with a 2.4 GHz connection. This is a compact 60% case with a 64 key layout. And lastly, the most important part is, this is a case with a full built CNC aluminium case. Now, speaking about the aluminium case, the first thing when you pick up the keyboard out of the box is that you can feel the heft of this keyboard. Now, it's not like this is the first time of me handling aluminium cases. I've had the RK61 Pro, and even my current SK64 is using a low profile aluminium case from KP Republic. But comparing those cases to the Ajazz is not even in the same category. This is more towards the Tofu or something like the Poseidon case. It is a more robust, thicker aluminium compared to the previous cases that I mentioned. I mean, here looking at both cases side by side, you can see the difference in thickness of the frame of the aluminium for my previous SK64XS with the KP Republic low profile case compared to the Ajazz case, which is a lot more thicker and a lot more heavier. I do feel that it is definitely a step up on the upgrade in terms of quality. Now, one thing I a bit dislike about this keyboard is that the location of the USB port is located in the middle. Now, I would prefer that the USB port to be located somewhere on the far left, because this way, if you have the keyboard plugged in, and you know, gamers usually use the keyboard at a slightly shifted angle, not like straight. So that way that the cable won't interfere with mouse movement, especially when you're making big swipes. But I think this is just a matter of personal preference. Okay, so now we're going to have a quick disassembly of the keyboard. Now, disassembling this keyboard, you will find a few interesting things that you don't usually find in other keyboard kits. So first of all, removing the FR4 plate will reveal the sandwich cotton cutout between the PCB and the plate. So this alone will set you back around 30 ringgit Malaysia or around $10 for you to get. So this is one added value that you don't typically find in other keyboard kits. Now, removing the PCB will reveal two interesting things. Number one is the battery, which is a 3000 mAh, which is actually quite large. And the second thing is that if you notice on the standoff, you can see that they actually put rubber mounts on it. So I think this is something like an O-ring mod, where you try to get the gasket feel of the keyboard on a tray mounted keyboard. So that is very unique and not usually done, especially for a stock keyboard kit. Now here I'm just taking a closer look at the PCB. Unfortunately, the keyboard is actually north facing, so you will have issues with cherry mounted keycaps. So keep that in mind. Alright, now to the fun part, modding the keyboard. Now, building the keyboard, firstly of course I will always start with foam lining the inner keyboard case so that you will remove the hollowness. The next step is of course clipping the stabilizers, as you need to usually do with stock stabilizers. Next, I do the holy mod or the band-aid mod, and this is followed by lubing the stabilizer wire and lubing the stabilizer stem. So I will say that in my experience, stabilizer mod is the most important part of the keyboard modding. I would rank it even higher than even lubing switches. Now for the switches, I'm using a combination of Kale Box White mainly, and also the Akko CS Blue for the switches with stabilizers like the spacebar and everything else. Now, the main reason why I'm doing a clicky build is frankly because I've gotten bored of linear switch and tactile switches. So I wanted something drastically different. But I was gravitating towards the Kale box switches because I find it actually in a unique position in the market, because it is a very unique switch. It's the only one that I know of that is using the box design, and it is also the only one that is using the click jacket, the click bar design, so instead of the click jacket. So in terms of, I know it's an old switch and everything, but You know, in terms of uniqueness, it is actually quite unique compared to any other switch out there. Now for the keycap set, we are using the Akko Samurai keycap. I won't go in depth into this keycap because I've already did a video on this, so links is in the description down below. So this is the result. I really like the end product. It has a very, you know, matured and understated look to it. I think the silver also goes very well with the maroon red of the keycaps. But I know you guys are not interested in this, so let's go on to the sound test. Typically, buying a keyboard nowadays will require you to have this manual to understand the macros. Press function this to connect to Bluetooth, press function this and that to change RGB, but I mainly use the software for ease of use. Luckily, the software that is included with this keyboard is actually quite decent. It's very easy to do things like, you know, choosing what RGB pattern you want, how much brightness for the RGB, the speed of it. You can also program things like macros very easily. You can have multiple layers. All of this can be done with the software. And for me, actually, the software is actually quite stable. I mean, it looks a bit janky, but you know, as long as it functions fine, I don't see any problem. And you know, for me, much better than using function, press this, function, press that. So, this is a plus for me. Okay, conclusion time. What do I think about the keyboard? So let's go for the general value for money. Is it a good keyboard in general first? Look, for 300 bucks, I think it is an excellent keyboard. 300 bucks or 80 US dollar generally will only get you a case, something like a Tofu60 or a 5-degree KBD fans. That itself will set you back around 80 US dollars or 300 ringgit. But this, pay 300 ringgit and you get the case. You get the hot swap PCB with triple connection capability. You know, you get all of the features, RGB, the foam and everything. All of that you get for the price. I mean, for the price, it is quite unbeatable. Now, is the keyboard for you? Now, that is a totally different question. Look, I'm going to be frank. I really like wireless peripherals, okay? So this is my mouse, it's wireless. This is my headphone, it's also wireless. So of course, it's natural for me to try to complete the wireless trifecta. Of course, I want my keyboard to have wireless capability. I mean, previously I had the SK64, great and everything, but every time I have to game or do any fast typing, I have to use the wired because the Bluetooth is a bit unreliable, and you definitely cannot use it for gaming, the Bluetooth. You have to use it in wired. But this one, 2.4 GHz, no issue. You can definitely use it in gaming. So of course, naturally, that is my needs and that is my priority. Another thing that I'm always looking for keyboard is aluminium case. I find that I cannot get away from the premium feel of aluminium. I mean, I've felt wood cases before, you know, but I always gravitate towards aluminium case. So that is my priority. But my priority might not be the same as what you want in a keyboard. Maybe you want a gasket mount. Maybe you want to spend more for your switches. That's fine. You know, the keyboard community is actually one of the most, I would say, not polarizing, but it's very difficult to get an objective answer of which is the best because everybody has their own preference. So, you know, just think about what you need and choose accordingly. But overall, let's say if you don't have any preference and you just want a good keyboard kit, is this Ajazz AC064 keyboard, is it a good keyboard? Then the answer is definitely yes. For the value, it is actually quite unbeatable. Otherwise, I have nothing else to add, I think. As usual, don't forget to support my channel. Always leave a like and subscribe. That is all I ask. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section down below. Otherwise, see you guys next time. Ciao.